Hello everyone. Welcome to Integrated Medical Biochemistry with Dr. Bijoya. Today's topic of discussion is renal clearance. So we'll begin with glomerular filtration rate. As you know that glomerular filtration rate is also abbreviated as GFR. GFR is the rate at which plasma is filtered by the glomeruli, an important measurement to evaluate renal function. Now the GFR is 125 ml plasma per minute or 180 liters per day. So the kidneys filter plasma around 60 times in a day. The GFR decreases with age. GFR also decreases when the blood pressure is below 80 mmHg, and the GFR is reduced when there is obstruction to the renal flow due to calculi, enlarged prostate, etc. Now, the next terminology is clearance. So let us look at the definition of clearance. The definition of clearance says that the clearance of substance may be defined as the volume of blood or plasma cleared of the substance found in 1 minute excretion of urine. It's a measure of GFR. So the clinical significance of doing renal clearance test is to assess the rate of glomerular filtration, to assess the severity of renal damage, to see tubular reabsorption, and to see tubular secretion of different substances. So basically renal clearance assesses the renal functions. It is a very important marker to assess the kidney functions. The compounds used for clearance may be exogenous substances which are not synthesized in the body but are administered from outside. These include inulin, 51 chromium labeled EDTA and 91 technetium labeled EDTA. And the endogenous substances include creatinine, urea, cystatin C. These compounds are all synthesized in our body. Creatinine is synthesized from creatine. Urea is the end product of amino acid metabolism, and cystatin C is a glycoprotein. So the ideal compound is the one which is only filtered but neither reabsorbed nor secreted. Inulin meets these requirements, but it is not suitable for routine clinical use, so endogenous substances are preferred. In that case, creatine has a closer GFR to that of the normal GFR, so it is the most preferred or most widely used compound as of now for creatinine clearance or for renal clearance. Now let us look at the comparison of various compounds that are cleared by the kidneys. So the first diagram is showing inulin and mannitol. Inulin and mannitol are showing no tubular reabsorption or secretion. Whatever is filtered by the glomerulus is excreted by the kidneys in the urine. Now the second diagram is showing the comparison of glucose, sodium and urea. Now, when glucose, sodium and urea are filtered by the glomerulus, there is some reabsorption. Glucose and is totally reabsorbed. The net tubular reabsorption and some amount is excreted. So, this is how a part of these compounds may be reabsorbed and the part is excreted out. So the excreted amount is always less than the filtered amount. Now the next category of compound includes para-aminohippurate and creatinine. These two compounds are filtered, some amount is excreted, and the net tubular secretion may be greater than the filtered amount. Here is a maybe, not always. So creatinine, that's why, becomes an ideal choice, replacing inulin because it is endogenous, and only in certain concentrations creatinine is secreted by tubules, but on an average, generally whatever comes to the glomerulus, whatever is filtered by the glomerulus is excreted by the kidneys. So generally excreted amount is equal to the filtered amount. But in some cases, there may be tubular secretion. So creatinine becomes a natural choice because there is no invasion as in case of inulin, which has to be administered exogenously. Now what sample do we need? We need blood sample for uh, estimation, serum estimation, and we need a 24-hour urine collection. So certain conditions have to be taken care of for a 24-hour urine collection. It includes that all the urine has to be voided in a container, and the container must uh, be having some preservatives. The preservatives are mentioned over here for different compounds. So when we are assessing creatinine and urea in urine sample, generally 10 ml, for 10 ml we need 6 normal HCl. 10 ml of 6 normal HCl is enough to act as a preservative for these. Now the first clearance is the renal clearance. So let us begin with creatinine clearance. Now the definition of creatinine clearance is, it may be defined as the volume of plasma that would be completely cleared of creatinine per minute by the glomerulus. The formula for creatinine clearance calculation is U into V by P. U here stands for creatinine in urine, V stands for volume of urine per minute, and P stands for concentration of plasma. So creatinine clearance is nearly equal to GFR, but the only disadvantage is that at higher plasma creatinine levels, there is tubular secretion of creatinine, leading to more creatinine clearance value than GFR. So the diagnostic importance of creatinine clearance. The normal range of creatinine clearance is 120 to 145 ml per minute. The diagnostic application says that a decrease in creatinine clearance less than 75% of normal indicates a decreased GFR reflecting renal damage. The causes of decreased creatinine clearance are acute and chronic renal failure, and it is also increasing age. The causes of increased creatinine clearance, on the other hand, is seen in normal pregnancy, where increase in plasma volume increases GFR. Diabetic nephropathy, hyperfiltration is an early feature of diabetic nephropathy. So this is the diagnostic importance of creatinine clearance. Now the next parameter is estimated GFR, which is abbreviated as small e GFR. So an indirect and much simpler method of estimating creatinine clearance and thereby GFR is by using serum creatinine levels. It is called as eGFR, and the Cockcroft-Gault equation is used to estimate it, which is equal to 140 minus age in years into weight in kgs, and in case of females 0.85 has to be used as a factor of multiplication. This is divided by 72 into serum creatinine in milligrams per deciliter. So the factor of 0.85 is used to estimate creatinine clearance in females as they have 15% less muscle mass compared to males. So this factor of 0.85 helps in compensating for the less muscle mass. Now eGFR is particularly used in patients for chronic kidney disease. Now the advantages. The advantages of creatinine clearance estimation is that the conversion of creatine phosphate to creatinine is spontaneous and non-enzymatic. As we know that creatinine is formed from creatine, this is a non-enzymatic spontaneous reaction. As the production is continuous, the blood level will not fluctuate. The blood may be collected at any time. It is not affected by diet or exercise. So these are the advantages of doing creatinine clearance. The second parameter is urea clearance, which is defined as the volume of plasma that would be completely cleared of urea per minute. In creatinine clearance, it was the volume of plasma cleared by glomerulus of creatinine per minute, and here it is urea per minute. And the formula is Cm is equals to U into V by P. Cm stands for maximum urea clearance, U stands for urea concentration in urine, V stands for urine excretion per minute in ml, and P stands for plasma urea concentration in milligrams per deciliter. Now urea clearance, clinical significance. The normal value is about 75 ml per minute. Urea clearance is actually a poor indicator of GFR because it is affected by so many factors such as dietary proteins, fluid intake, infection, surgery, etc. The production rate is always dependent on several non-renal factors, which include diet and the activity of urea cycle enzymes. Um, there is also variable amount of back diffusion. Approximately 40% of the filtered urea is normally reabsorbed by the renal tubules. So again, the urea clearance is just 75 ml per minute, unlike the inulin clearance, which is around 120 ml per minute, which is close to the GFR. Now the third is the inulin clearance. The volume of blood from which inulin is cleared or completely removed in 1 minute by the glomerulus is known as inulin clearance, and it is equal to the GFR. So that is why inulin is known as the gold standard for renal clearance, because whatever is filtered by the glomerulus, that is excreted by the kidneys in the urine. There is no tubular reabsorption or secretion. So the causes of inulin clearance being the gold standard is freely filtered at glomerulus, no tubular metabolism, no tubular reabsorption or secretion. But the limitations are it is very expensive, it is hard to obtain and difficult to assay. It is also invasive because it is an exogenous administration is required. It is not a part of our metabolism. The formula for inulin clearance is C in is equals to U in into V by P in. U stands for urine concentration, in stands for inulin, V is equals to urine output in ml per minute, and P in is equals to plasma concentration of inulin. The diagnostic importance, the normal inulin clearance rate is 125 ml per minute, which is equal to the GFR. Now the new molecule among the novel markers, it is the cystatin C, which is a glycoprotein and it's an excellent GFR marker. The normal blood level of cystatin is 0.8 to 1.2 milligrams per liter. There is no tubular secretion of cystatin C, extremely sensitive to minor changes in GFR. Even in the earliest stages of chronic kidney disease, it raises, so it is better than creatinine. It is sensitive to changes unlike creatinine, and there is no blind area like in creatinine. The blood levels are not dependent on age, sex, muscle mass, or inflammatory processes, so the serum levels of cystatin is a better test for kidney function than serum creatinine levels. Although it is currently not very widely used, the usage has its recommendation has just begun and it's not commonly in use. So the methods of GFR estimation. The direct method measurement for clearance is determined by exogenous substances as discussed earlier, inulin, iohexol or 51 chromium EDTA or 125 iothalamate. These are not routinely used because they are costly, they are time consuming, they are labor intensive, invasive and stressful for the patient. The formula, however, is given below. Now, the creatinine is an endogenous product. It's a small molecule. It is a breakdown product of creatine as a part of muscle metabolism. Routine clinical chemistry method, that is the Jaffe's method, is used generally, and now an enzymatic method is also available, which is an oxidase peroxidase reaction based method. There are different formulas available for creatinine clearance which help to estimate GFR. The formula has been discussed in detail, and the other more reliable formula is the eGFR formula. Now, cystatin C is a novel marker. It is a small protein of 13 kilodalton. It is a cysteine protease inhibitor and it is produced by various cells in our body. It is the most sensitive marker currently, although it is not commonly recommended yet. It is the assay method is available in fully automated immunoassays. The method of standardization program is still in progress. There are different formulas available, but the current formula is by the eGFR method, which is 60 ml per minute per 1.73 meter square. Now there are some questions, so let us look at this. The best test to measure GFR is, so from the choices given here, para-aminohipurate, inulin, creatinine, urea. The best test is inulin because its clearance is equal to the GFR. So here the answer will be inulin. Now the most widely used marker for GFR is creatinine because it is synthesized, it's an endogenous compound and its clearance is close to inulin. It is not exactly the same, but it is close to inulin, closest to inulin, and so it is the most widely used marker for GFR. The method is easily available, the kits are available, and it is uh, economically very feasible. Now, the other questions include define clearance, which is the gold standard for assessing clearance and why. Calculate urea and creatinine clearance from the given values below. What is cystatin C and how is it a better marker than creatinine? So, please like, share and subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon. Thank you. Have a good day.